Have you ever wanted to say something to someone and have them say something back? Welcome to Candid Conversations. Let's chat. Oh man, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 222 of Candid Conversations. We are here with Viviana, artist. I'm going to let you describe your talent because it is so profound to me when I saw the information that I got in the package. So, ambidextrous artist, correct?
Yes.
Okay. That was one of my favorite words growing up, honestly speaking, because it just showed how diverse you could be, kind of thing. And it differentiated people from everyone else because it takes a special function to be able to control both hands at the same time. So let's hear more about your art form and how you came about it and about yourself.
Thank you, David. Well, Ambidextrous has been a mystery that has been with me all life. as
Okay.
a as a child, I will use my other hand to replicate at least just to write my name, and I just recently really confirmed that it runs in my family. But it is not because of my childhood dreams that I became an artist working with my two hands. It's just I'm trained as an architect, so I use color pencils all my life. I worked when I moved to Canada 18 years ago. I started to do urban planning and landscape architecture, and I became an urban designer, and I worked for several years until 5 years ago I got a diagnosis ovarian cancer and at an advanced stage.
Uh-huh.
And well, that's my past life, but I'm here to talk about my new life.
All right. All right. Let's get it.
So due to the great novel treatments that saved my life, I developed condition in my hands, in my fingers, chronic pain called um, is related to the chemotherapy and the treatments that I got, and it's neuropathic pain that was triggered by that. So going back to my creative soul and the use of color pencils during my practice, I started using color pencil to move my hands because movement will heal and will improve, make it more bearable the pain.
Okay.
And doing this constantly to play with it. As an architect, I never design or did kind of drawing organic and not constrained to straight lines. And it was just due to this practice that I started to do it consciously for a long time. And it became the way to represent my emotions
Okay.
and to cope with not only physical pain and physical trauma, but also to cope with my emotions. And here I am. It's been about 4 years that I've been dedicating fully to arts as an interdisciplinary artist. And my first goal was to draw to raise awareness about ovarian cancer, which is a disease that affects many women. And I was given a survival rate of 33% in 5 years. And here I am, 5 years after, and I'm creating art and
Let's
enjoying
go.
life that way.
That is awesome to hear. I mean, you see, the odds were in your favor and you overcame them. And that's amazing to hear. I'm sitting here looking at some of the, like, ailments that I've had, and I'm just like, I haven't gone through anything close to that. So your plight is an inspiration. I want you to know that for here. Now the art, I see a a whole bunch of art in your backdrop there. Is that all created by you?
It is all created by me.
Okay,
So you
okay.
can see different media,
Yeah,
but it's all made with my two hands, what I call the dance of my two hands.
dance of you too. And that dance you learned after hearing such a tragic diagnosis. So how did you, because I don't want to just gloss over that, how did you go from hearing that diagnosis to finding your calling with art?
Well, a cancer diagnosis and any type of diagnosis that affects the quality of your life, it is not something easy to digest. It is not something that you really understand or even accept as a reality. So I can tell you that it was really hard on myself, even just to locate myself in the reality and see myself next day because things were changing too fast.
Okay,
Uh, but short story was when I was losing my life. Like I didn't have, I have less energy, and over the 10 days before getting a radical surgery, I
all right,
wasn't here literally. So that moment when I felt that I was more in another plane other than here alive, I
yeah.
learned to see the essential, and the essentials was to keep breathing. And I think that essential of being alive kept me through my journey. And it's been several months since this happened. And I worked in Toronto as an urban designer, and my colleagues sent me a coloring book to keep
Okay,
me to keep me probably recreated. And I
okay,
hated that book. It's like I'm super creative. I'm not going to do that. Like coloring is so boring. Um, I used to do all the sketches and urban planning designs with color pencils and markers and like things that are coming from my heart. But
okay.
the reality was that I was on treatment and I didn't have the energy to do anything. So what I said was, okay, maybe I need to take that book, coloring book, and use just one color, the color that represents the emotion that I have each day. And I started just feeling slowly this coloring book with one color. And that way I felt that I was doing something creative because there were several months that had passed and I wasn't me, the person that was in the past that was always with creativity, solving problems and all of this. So
Oh,
that was
okay.
how I started. uh,
That, that's an interest. That's very interesting. I want to take a second to let you know that we are on Candid Conversations, episode 222 with Viviana, ambidextrous artist extraordinaire. And we have to take a quick break and we'll be right back. All right, we are back. So that transition from angst to artist, we'll say. And that sounds like a good book title, From Angst to Artist. But sorry, you'll have to forgive me for a moment. But yeah, so that's really compelling because there's a lot of people who might have, I mean, like I was saying earlier, I've had lesser issues and gotten so engulfed in them that I lose sight of some of my capacities or my abilities. So to hear how you transition from pain to promise is is really enlightening. Okay, now which is your favorite piece of the ones that you have hanging on the wall?
Oh, that's so difficult. um, let's take one.
Okay.
I'll take this small one. I don't know if you can see it here.
Yes, that looks okay. Now it's changing. I thought I knew what it was until you rotated it, and then it looked like something different.
Now it is totally abstract, and you can interpret that based on your preference. So this one was actually developed under at a hospital
Really? Okay.
while being beside my dad after a open heart surgery.
All right.
So if you see here, I was trying just to be in the present moment, appreciating life. That was last year. It
Okay.
is color pencil and watercolor pencils and watercolor on wooden panel.
Okay.
So, and the fact that rotates and that is circular, that doesn't have a definite limit, I would say, helped me just to be on a chair just beside my dad in while he was recovering. So why I like this one, because it talks about two. It has two colors. Even I was worrying and sad because of what was going on. That raised my energy up. I was so like it was developed almost over a week, and it raised my energy up. It was spring. It was by this time last year, and I was seeing green and blue. I was looking at the wind through the window to see the sky, and easy to do on a
At one,
chair.
at one point in the rotation, to me, from like just my perspective, it looked like the zodiac signs. It looked like yeah, like right about there. It looks like to the left of the one green leaf to me, which kind of would be a wing. It's like a body kind of looking like this direction.
Oh yes, I see it. There.
Yeah, yeah. So, but then when you spin it, it just looks like a tree, like this way. It looks like the roots of a tree kind of thing.
Okay.
So, yeah, like that.
Yes.
Like a tree by water, and then
Yeah.
like a really big plant, like a blossoming plant kind of thing, showing like new life.
So you see, David, you are taking into some of the themes that are so close to my passion, which is nature, and
Yeah,
actually, I get inspiration from nature. Um, but yeah, sometimes actually people see, oh, this is like a constellation, this is like a nebulous or something like that. I always like that. As a little, like I wanted as a child, I wanted to know more about the space. But these forms that you see here are the things that are triggering my brain. I have color synesthesia,
okay.
so certain words and emotions trigger color in my brain. So the easiest way to represent that with my two hands was always to keep a center and radiate with my two hands. I have here some color pencils, so it's easier just to go like this and start
Okay.
doing that. And it is probably like the patterns that you see in nature as well, like how there is a trunk and it radiates into onto roots
Yeah.
and the leaves and all of that. So generally, it's always the same style, but it is the easiest way how I can use the hands at the same time, even working on the strength of each hand. I'm mostly right-handed, like I write with my with my right hand, and
Mhm.
it's like it's stronger the stroke that you can get with the right hand. But when I need to have something really soft and smooth, I'll use my
Yeah.
left hand. So it's
Okay.
what I call drawing from my heart, irradiating life with my two hands
Oh
through my
my.
arts.
Okay, and energy does radiate outwards from the center as well when you're talking about the propagation of it. So you're
Yeah,
just amplifying it with every action that you make. So
yeah.
this is enlightening. I like this. I'm glad we're having this conversation because I talk to like musical artists all the time, but it's very rare that I get to speak to like a graphic artist or a designer. This is actually the second week in a row that I've had the pleasure of speaking to someone who is graphically inclined. Last week I spoke to a comic book designer,
Mhm.
Doug Knight, and he was telling me about some of the different techniques that he uses and some of the like because he's legally blind as well. So he's telling me about how he can create with such limited vision and some of his challenges as well. So what would you say is the defining aspect of your art?
Sorry, I didn't get the word well.
Like
Funny, you said?
defining, like what
Funny.
would you say your art like defines your artwork?
Life.
Okay.
I would say that because it's abstract, and I create something that has movement. This movement and ways to see it with different perspectives is what to me defines life. Life
Okay.
is in constant change. It's movement. We are not
Yes.
standing still.
Yes.
And but within that movement, living in that movement and finding balance is that we can live life. And that's what my art does. And that's what I intend when creating art, to inspire others to live life, not hoping for a better future, just living here with a different perspective, capitalizing on what they have at the present moment. And that's what my art does.
That is that is the key. Because you could want what you want, but if you don't want what you have, there's always going to feel like that bit of loss kind of thing. You know, if I understand you correctly. But we are here, episode 222 of Candid Conversations with Viviana, Ambidextrous Artist Extraordinaire. I think you need to come back with us as we come back from break. We are live on youtube.com/@ EXPOSETHENORTH 8741 or on the replay at Zeno.fm/CULCHASHOCKRADIO. Zeno.fm/Culture Shock Radio. You're in the mix. Come get your fix. And we're back. Okay, so there's some administrative stuff I got to do here. I see why it takes so many. You ever see a show and then watch all the credits? There's it's like, what do all those people do? I'm learning that right now. I'm learning some of that stuff right now. Oh man. Okay, there we go. All right. So, you showed us your favorite piece. Now, am I correct? Are those colors lined up in a particular way? Like, yes,
Yes, yes,
yes.
they are.
They
They
look
are.
like. All right, and I want to let me know if I'm anywhere in the ballpark of what you're going for. It's like they're different elements of life, kind of represented or something like that. Am I in the ballpark?
Yes, it could be. Actually, I'm going to move this a little bit
Oh,
here so
there's
you can
more.
see. Yes, these are the second iteration of drawings for develop with a project I did with the support of the Conseil des Arts de Montréal, the Council of Arts of Montreal.
Okay.
Uh, 2 years that I spent drawing, inspired by trees
Okay.
in Montreal. that live in the city and survive urban conditions as a metaphor of my own life, healing and surviving um, mortal illness. So each of the drawings you see here represent one of the trees and one emotion that ties to their journey and my journey. So, for instance, the yellow one you see here, that's power. And
Okay.
that's the inner power that either the trees or us as humans have to sustain life. So this is inspired by the emblematic tree of Quebec, yellow birch, which is a tree that provides wood for many things in Canada and has provided for several centuries. But it's the wood that probably is the most valuable that we can see. But it runs in the center of the tree, and it's things that we don't see inside. So this same power, the power of the salvia, that runs in the tree is like the power of your own energy to keep your life away. Like through a cancer journey, I learned even how my body was conformed with, like where my organs were, what was the function of certain organs, even just to
Okay.
realize what was going on in my body. And it's the same power of your body that is like you just not, you don't say the body or ask for like demand that it heals a scar. It is like within the body that everything closes together and your scars here heal. So is that power that we don't see and we cannot touch, but
Okay.
is in men, like it is exist in your body to create your own body or to heal from illness, taking medication or taking treatment. So your body responds. Your body has a power to heal. So that honors that, and all of the others also honors a specific emotion or characteristic of life, and that's
Oh,
part of my series, a coloring for forest in color. Sorry,
oh,
um, project.
oh, wow. All right. Yeah, no, I was looking at it and it was just it sorry. As I looked at it, I kind of got like a Fifth Element kind of feeling from it. Like there was something important about it, and I just couldn't quite figure it out, so I had to ask. So thank you for taking the time to explain that.
You're welcome.
All right. Now, the other thing I find funny is as you put the camera right back there is the one that's directly behind you is giving you like Minnie Mouse ears. Is that on purpose, or is that your artwork again, or
Yes, it is my
okay, this one.
artwork. So
All right.
that is making um, that talks about light coming from darkness.
Okay.
So as the sky gets really dark at night, but early in the morning you can see the sun lighting up again our life. So that talks about that. But it's
Um,
funny that it's, yeah, it's like my
yeah, I know. I wasn't sure if it was done on purpose, but then like when the way the camera was before, it was only part of it that was showing. So now I see the whole picture, and it's a
yeah.
different perspective. Oh man, episode 222, ladies and gentlemen. We are here with Viviana, and she has showed us several pieces of art that you could view again. But we would like to invite you to Teal to Heal. Is that what
Yeah.
it's called?
Yes, it is an event.
You'll have to forgive me. My
It, he's
He's a Jack
he,
Russell Terrier, but you think he's like a bulldog or something, right?
It's excited about what you just said. You're talking
Yeah,
about the event.
exactly. That's exactly that's what's going on. So tell us more about Teal to Heal.
TL to Heal is an event that is uh, put together by the brother of a cancer, a woman who passed away of cancer, who lost her battle with ovarian cancer.
Okay.
So his production company, Indie Roots Records, is putting together this beautiful event to magnify the power of art to heal and to raise awareness about ovarian cancer in Montreal. So I'm being invited to bring my art to inspire others and to show my journey with cancer, which is tied to ovarian cancer journey.
Okay. That is excellent. And more power to you on the in that regard as well.
Yeah, so
Um,
it's an event that is going to be full of music. There
right.
is a fashion show. Local designers and local artists are going to be showing their art to inspire others. I'm going to be participating as well as one of the models. It will be my first time modeling
Okay.
fashion, but it's for an important cause. And when the designers are putting together um, the beautiful designs inspired by our journeys. So the idea is to fundraise and support Ovarian Cancer Canada. Their magnificent efforts of advocating for help for us, for Teal Sisters, as we called. That's the reason why it's Teal to Heal.
Okay.
The ovarian cancer ribbon is teal. That's the color that symbolizes ovarian cancer. And we go from teal
Yeah.
to heal through arts.
Okay. Okay. The explanation makes so much sense. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us after this quick break. You're here at Candid Conversations. All right. So, Teal to Heal happening on what date again? Just to revisit that.
It's happening here in Montreal on Saturday the 3rd of May
Okay.
at Espace Jacques. On that's 1439 Rue Saint Catherine
Okay.
in Montreal at 6 p.m. From 6 p.m. to 11 p.m., you will have um, a beautiful representation of the local music, art, and fashion.
Okay. All right. Well, this is the segment where I usually flip the script. And when I flip the script, I give the guest the opportunity to be the host and make whatever statements they have or ask any questions they may have come up with. So, Viviana, you have the floor as we flip the script.
Okay, this is exciting. I wasn't expecting this, but yes, David, tell me about your favorite color.
My favorite color, honestly, I want to say it's becoming orange quickly. I have one specific sweater that I wear, and I just feel good when I put it on. I don't know if it's because it's my company sweater, or if it's because of the brightness of the sweater, or the reaction I get when I wear it. But like, I'm saying, quickly, orange is becoming my favorite color.
Amazing. And you just had explained what color does. Color raises your energy and you resonate with that color and you feel alive. And that was what color does. And color is a representation of one um, of the art forms. Like with color, we can create art as it is with sound and music.
Hmm.
Um, so yes, I want people to think why they prefer one color or the other,
Huh.
and to think why you like that. And it is not the same answer that your neighbor or I will have. So everything in life is depending on your perspective and your association and your cultural, your psychological, your lived life. Um, so that was color. That color is not something that we can touch and say this is what is orange. Or can you touch orange colors? You touched your sweater.
Oh,
so
okay.
so that's another dimension. So I wanted just to share that with you, and make you feel about that. So in just one word, how would you describe your non-favorite color?
Boring.
Boring.
Boring. Yeah, like bland. Like something that just it's like something that doesn't pop. Like as soon as it fits in, it's kind of like boring to me. I like those colors that stand out in a crowd kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like yesterday, I was at the Niagara Music Awards, and like you'd see the gray suits and the blue suits and the black suits, and then you'd see like a neon green outfit, or like a blue dress, a sparkly blue dress, or like a leopard print pattern, and it's like, okay, those are people whose personalities kind of stand out more because the prints they choose to me kind of thing. And I don't know, it's like boring colors just are just not my thing anymore. Unless I'm trying to blend in, then I'll wear gray or something.
But there you go. It's just because it connects you with an emotion. Like if you don't feel alive, you're bored. You are not really living happily. Like it's something that is not making you enjoy the moment.
Yes,
So because I know that you like music,
yes, yes, indeed.
so do you see any parallel with any music, um, any specific music tune about how you dress, how you choose color? Do you see any relationship with color and music? Can
The
you
the
tell me?
most the closest relationship I see to color and music is the color wheel and the circle of fifths. It's like the frequencies of notes that you play and the tones that they're associated with on the higher frequencies kind of thing. So as you transition from sound to light, I find that to be the closest correlation.
Okay. So, did you know that some people listen to music and see color in their brain and associate color with their brain?
I believe that's something that happens with my fiance, if I'm not mistaken. She has a very interesting way of describing things. Like she described tonic water one time as like liquid static.
Okay.
And ever since I've heard that, I haven't been able to shake it. So yeah, I think I've heard of it, but I personally am not familiar with it because it doesn't it works different for me kind of thing.
Okay.
I see more numbers and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's how your brain makes associations. Sometimes it crosses over pathways and to describe things, but that's color synesthesia. That's
Okay.
something that I experienced. But I don't know if you know that we're born just to integrate this type of feelings and sensations as child. It's just as we grow, we
Mhm.
specialize our senses. So you might be just happier listening to music while others are happier using color and painting, or just staying out of on nature, or just um, validating their emotion on a sensorial input. So
Okay.
this is what color synesthesia is, and it's being used by artists to get inspired by music and to represent music on color. So
Okay.
there is an important relationship between music and color as well.
All right. I would love, you know what? We are coming close to a commercial break, but I think we should dive more into that in the next segment. This is Candid Conversations. We are here with Viviana, and we're going to be talking about music and color. Be sure to check out sharetheshock.ca for some of the latest from the soon to be greatest. And remember, youtube.com/at POEZ is where you can find me and the boys wrestling, as well as YouTube. xrpradio.co.uk is where you can find Hosting Under Insanity Saturdays at 6 p.m. We'll be right back. All right. Here's that dog.
Welcome in again.
It's interesting how certain things will just trigger that thing. There we go. So, sound and yeah, because that bark was like a shrill, kind of like a shrill, bright noise kind of thing, where like sometimes he'll growl and it's more of a lower, darker color. If I'm putting color to sound the way I would see it, and there's some things I find that I can do very easily with art, like graphic design, and there's some things that I will never try, like a full scene, like the foreground with the character and then the background with all the buildings and all that stuff. That takes way more patience than I have to draw. I can describe it, but to actually draw it out, like I I admire you for using your skills to create a path of healing and structures that are can carry so much weight. Like it's intriguing. What is the most interesting building you've designed?
I didn't design buildings, I designed public space.
Okay,
The most interesting public space, I think I work in so many urban parks in Ontario, in London, Ontario, and Toronto.
okay,
But I think it's just the trees that I planted, the things that I like the most, or the parks. Like my career started in London, Ontario. I did a master's in environment there,
okay,
and I worked for the municipality
okay, all right.
for several periods of during about 2 years. And yes, all the parks, the Thames Valley Parkway, all the trees that we planted along the bicycle path, and the arboretum, infield planting, all of that. Probably it is like one of my favorite projects because I can see people, from like the community as a whole, enjoying that, and as well promoting the tree cover of a city. And that was probably the massive planting type in my life. Yes, I think it was that one.
Oh, okay. This is okay. Well, we are coming close to the end of the show, but before we go, is there anybody that you would like to thank for their support, guidance, or direction, anything like that?
During my artistic practice,
Yes.
well, uh, Montreal. I have really living in a city where art, you can breathe art, probably that's an important uh, fact that helped me just to concentrate in art. But the Conseil des Arts de Montréal, because without their support, I applied for a grant for artists with disabilities in 2022, and it was with their support that over than 2 years of my life I dedicated to fully create and create my first body of work and have my first solo exhibition and collaborate with others and define my path as an artist. Without having their support, probably I would have struggled just to move into one place to another that allowed me to be focused and to make my forest in color a reality. These drawings became human scale drawings, over 200, 7 by 3 feet art pieces were
Oh,
exhibited last year and presented at a gallery that honors an artist from Montreal who passed from ovarian cancer. And I was able to bring my 2 years of creation to other TL sisters and to the community as a whole, to not only talk about recovery of an illness and to celebrate life, but also to celebrate urban nature in cities, as my mission as an urban designer was in my past life. So without the support of the Conseil des Arts de Montréal, probably I wouldn't be here with my art as I am.
that's amazing. I'm glad to hear that things have come around so well for you. And it's remarkable to just hear your positive energies about this. And I definitely have a new perspective on life. That's for sure after this conversation, because you never know until you hear sometimes, is what I've heard. And now that I'm hearing some of these things, it's like, yeah, I get it now. I get it now. Those pictures, though, I really like. Though, like of all the artworks on the wall, like I keep gravitating to those pictures behind you to your right. It's just those are awesome. I really like what they stand for. Oh man. So please stay with me as we come close to ending the show, because I like to do a post podcast wrap up. And yeah, this has been intriguing, interesting, inspiring, and informative. I like being able to cover all those bases. Be
Okay.
sure to be sure to check out magazine.sharetheshock.ca for the zine for those unseen in the scene. Zeno.fm/CULCHASHOCKRADIO. Zeno.fm/Culture Shock Radio. We're in the mix. Come get your fix. Candid Conversations is brought to you by Expose the North. We go there and beyond. Culture Shock. We are the product. The Village Global Network. We make the network, and Culture Shock Radio. We're in the mix. Come get your fix. Also, Jacks of all trades, letting you know if you can name it, we can tame it. Thank you for your time. Be sure to come back next time, and all the best. We are gone.